Okay, hi everyone. Okay, so in this video, right, we're going to go through this question, how much to place as paid up capital. Okay, so as you know, right, so usually clients, they will ask us questions, then we'll try to answer them, but we'll answer them in a video format. So if let's say any of you guys have any questions, then you can always forward them to us, then we'll try to cover it in a video. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so the question that the client asked me, right, because he is looking to incorporate a company, then he's asking me how much to place as paid up capital. The thing is that actually he has to understand what paid up capital is. Okay, so if he understands the concept, so understanding the concept is important before deciding on the required amount. Okay, so I think anybody who has incorporated a company, they've always come up to this question, right, whereby how much amount of money should I put as my paid up capital? So essentially what paid up capital is, right, is the amount of money that the shareholders have paid up in exchange for shares of the company. If you would liken it to real life scenario, you just imagine what an IPO is. So an initial public offering, right? You actually go to the ATM machine and you maybe do your placement for the IPO. Then after that, you would get the shares. Okay, so that is the investor or the shareholder. So when you invest in a company, you become the shareholder. Okay, so it's very important to know when you invest in a company, you become the shareholder. I've spoken about this a lot already because a lot of people, there are quite a number of people, right, who mix up the roles of directors and shareholders. But when you invest in a company, right, it's actually when you're investing as a shareholder. So the paid up capital is the money that the shareholders have paid up for the shares of the company. Okay, so essentially what it means is that the company says, I want to sell shares. The shareholders say, I want to buy your shares. How much money did the shareholder pay for these shares? That's called paid up capital. Okay, so when the shareholder maybe buys 10,000 shares from the company at $10,000. Okay, that means that one share is $1. Okay, so that means 10,000 shares at $10,000. Then this shareholder will have to pay $10,000 to the company. Then in return, right, the company will give this new shareholder 10,000 shares. Okay, so that's a very simple concept. This paid up capital, right, after the shareholder pay the money to the company, the company, the money belongs to the company, and the company is free to use it for its business. So imagine the same scenario whereby the shareholder paid $10,000 for 10,000 shares. The company bank account from zero will become 10,000. Then the company can use this $10,000 to go and rent an office. It can go and buy furniture. It can renovate the office. It can hire staff. Okay, so then this $10,000 would be lesser because the company has spent money. Okay, so maybe spend money to maybe left maybe $4,000 only. But the company is also making money when it's doing business. So maybe the company is selling, I don't know, maybe selling cameras. Okay, so then the company sells cameras and the company has to pay rent, pay salary, has to buy stock. Okay, so then there's money in and money out. So as if money in is more than money out, this $10,000 which started as paid up capital, the starting paid up capital in the company will become more. If money out is more than money in, okay, that means the company is spending more than it's earning. Then this $10,000 over time will slowly deplete, become lesser, 9,000, 8,000, 7,000, 6,000. Okay, then when it goes until maybe like almost $0, then what can the company do? No more money already, how to operate? The company can say, hey, I want to raise more capital. Raise more capital means what? Sell more shares. The company can create new shares and go and look for new shareholders to put money inside the company as paid up capital again. But when in all my examples, right, what I'm highlighting, right, is that the company can use the money for the company's business. Okay, the money should never be used for the shareholders or directors' personal expense. That means if the shareholder and the director, maybe they have access to the company bank account and they say, okay, I want to go out and eat with my family, then I use the money which I paid as paid up capital to pay for my family's dinner, that is wrong. Okay, the money cannot be used by the shareholders or directors for their personal expense. But if the company's money, the money that's paid up capital, that $10,000, maybe the director needs to go and meet a client, and then he needs to take a taxi to meet the client. Okay, the director can either use his own money to pay and come back and claim back from the company. The company will pay him back from the paid up capital or whatever is in the bank account, or the director can, if he has a debit card, he can use the card to make a taxi booking, and it will deduct from the company's bank account. So inside the company's bank account got paid up capital, also got the monies that the company earns. Because after a while, this $10,000 can go up or go down. Okay, so because when the company starts to do business, right, the paid up capital and the money that's earned, right, already mixed already. Just imagine, right, this company as a separate legal entity, means a separate person. I did a video on this. Okay, so then the company can increase and decrease paid up capital. Like just now I mentioned to you, if let's say the paid up capital from 10,000 drop until 1,000 because spending more than earning, the company can say, oh, I want to issue new shares. When you issue new shares, usually is by share allotment. So you allot new shares, and then the new shareholders subscribe to the shares. Then maybe the paid up capital become 20,000. But does it mean that the bank account inside got 20,000? No. How you see? You look at the accounting records. Okay, so you need to look at the accounts, the profit and loss, the money in, money out. Okay, then you can see where the money goes. Okay, but whenever there's new investment, then that entry, that money should go into the accounting record as well. Okay, but the company can also decrease the paid up capital. Okay, but for companies limited by shares, right, this is a very tedious process. So that means you can say that, oh, I paid up $10,000 in shares, then now maybe the bank account inside got maybe 100,000. Then you say I want to take back maybe 5,000. Then so I leave the paid up capital as 5,000. But so instead of on your business profile, right, you see paid up capital 10,000, you say I don't want 10,000, I want to see it as 5,000. Then can I reduce to 5,000 and take back the previous 5,000 that I put? You can do that, but it's a very tedious process for companies limited by shares. That process, right, try to disregard it if you don't quite understand what paid up capital is for a start. In future we will cover such a topic. Okay, so there's no limit to the amount of money that a company can raise through investments. So sometimes, right, I have people commenting, hey, how come this certain company, right, that this certain app that I'm using, well, every day I see them raise new capital, oh, I don't know how many series, they keep raising. The main reason is because Singapore, right, already done away with this concept of authorized share capital. So authorized share capital means, right, the company is authorized to raise up to a maximum of, let's say, $1 million worth of share capital. Okay, so if you cannot raise more than $1 million, but don't have really, this concept of authorized share capital does not exist in Singapore anymore. So that means whenever the company's not enough money, right, the company has not enough money, right, the company can always go to the shareholders, existing or new shareholders, to ask for money in exchange for shares, and this is unlimited. Okay, yeah, so this one, right, just have to take note. Okay, my client will always ask, you mean I can issue unlimited amount of shares? Yes, that's the beauty of the system. Okay, so if there's any issue, right, then you guys want to take a look at our website, our services and our pricing, right, you can go to our websites. You can also email us at hello@rafflescorporateservices.com. So that's all from me. See you at the next video. Bye.